different fields that's present in the frame format. So today we'll move on to the addressing mechanism, how addressing is referred. Okay. So the addressing mechanism used in 802.11 is that there are 4 ways of representing the address. So what is the purpose of representing 4 ways? You just recall we have discussed there are BSS, okay. So there are BSS, AP. Do you remember what we have discussed yesterday? So we have discussed basic service set, okay, then extended service set, then to connect devices belongs to different BSS, there is an AP access point. So just recall all those things. According to that, if you want, let me just show you that diagram. So related to that, we have all this okay. So this is what I am explaining. So basic service set where the nodes are which are the nodes that are within the range, so that can communicate each other. Okay, the first one you can just look into this, where the nodes are belongs to within this range, they can communicate each other without any access point or any infrastructure. So that is called as the basic service set. And another one, this is infrastructureless. Here it does not require any AP. So if you have installed any AP, it is called as infrastructure BSS. So AP is an infrastructure that is going to provide communication between the BSS, okay, or to the internet. So this BSS can be connected to the internet with the help of access point. So we have discussed about all these things. Similarly, extended service set. So that is where the nodes belongs to two different BSS can communicate each other using this extended service set. So that is using distribution system. You can just observe. So if any of the device belongs to the first BSS and another device belongs to another BS. So if that is the case, if those two devices want to communicate, it can be done with the help of access point, and these access points are connected through wired media, okay, and that is connected to the distribution system where those two devices belongs to different BSS can able to communicate each other. So now if these are the two cases, okay, so how addressing mechanism is used? You should ask yourself, like, if this is the case, how to represent the address of the node, okay, where the nodes belongs to the same BSS, or if it is belongs to different BSS, so how that address mechanism can be represented. So for that we are going to discuss about that addressing mechanism. Okay. So here there are 4 cases that can be used to define the addressing. Give me a minute. Okay. So in that, what are those 4 cases is? So where you can specify the field, that is field frame controller field to DS and from DS. This is the information you are going to represent in the addressing. Okay, so here each flag in the addressing field, we have one field called flag. So that flag can be represented as either 0 or 1, resulting in 4 different situations. Okay, so depending on the value you are going to represent, like 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1 1. Okay, so it is going to give 4 cases of representing the addressing mechanism. So the interpretation of 4 addresses in the MAC frame depends on the value of these flags. So what is the value of flag is set? Okay, that is DS flag. Is it 00? So the DS to DS, you just recall yesterday's in the frame format I explained, to DS flag and from DS flag. Okay, so according to this, what are the values set? Is it 00 indicates what is the type of transmission we are going to use, okay, where exactly the communication is taking place. So that we are going to discuss. Just you can have a look into this table. So where I have the flags to DS, from DS, then followed by the addresses. There are 4 address fields. So in this case, first case, we'll go with the first case, that is address the to address is represented as 0, from address is represented as 0, and followed by you will be having the destination address, then source address, followed by what is the address 3 indicates what is the basic service set ID, okay, and this is not used, not allocated, okay, so address 4 is not used in this case. Then so here address 1 is always the address of the next device, okay, so address 1 indicates, this is going to indicate, why normally we have discussed only the two address, no, the source and destination address, but here we have the other addresses also need to be represented. One is, so address 1 always indicates the next device address, okay, next device address. Then address 2 indicates the previous address of the device. Then address 3 indicates the final destination address, final destination address, okay, and this is going to be the source address, original source address, you can just write it, original source address. So now we'll move with the case, the first case, that is when two DS and from DS, if it is value having 0 0, so this means that what type of communication, okay, so what exactly it tells, or where the nodes are located, is it within the BS or it is outside the BS, that is going to be indicated using this 0 0, okay. So here actually the case 1 having value 0 0, to address is 0 and from DS is 0. This means that frame is not going to a distribution system, okay. You should know what is distribution system, where that is an example of ESS, where the nodes belongs to different BSS, okay. So now whenever if the address is, okay, so these are the systems of different BS. Whenever if it requires to communicate between these nodes, between the different BSS, it requires to be connected to the extended service or distribution system, okay. So now according to case 1, it is not going to be, the nodes are not belongs to a distribution system, or it is not coming from the distribution system. So here DS stands for distribution system. The data is not coming from distribution, it is not going to distribution system or not coming from the distribution system. So that is the address it is indicated. That means here the communication maybe it is within the BSS, basic service set. So here is it clear? To address and from address, that is to distribution system and from distribution system. So if both the values are set 0, it indicates that it is not involved in the distributed system. That means where exactly the data is going. The frame is going from one base station in a BSS to another without using distributed system. Okay, so that means the node is communicating within the BSS. Okay, the node is communicating within the BSS. In that case, the address specified is 0 0. That means it is not involved in the distributed system. Next case, the second case is 1 0. Okay, sorry, it is 0 1. The second case is 0 1. That means it is not going, it is the frame is coming from distributed system, from, okay, the frame is coming from distributed system, but it is not it is not coming from distributed system. 1 minute. Okay, so the frame is coming from distributed system, so that's why the value from DS should be set to 1. Okay, from DS should be set to 1 to DS. That means the frame is not going to the any other distributed system. Okay, so for that reason the value is set 0. Okay, so that is one case. So another case is, it is just opposite of the second one, that is the frame is going to distributed system. 2, okay, indicates the frame maybe. So this is the sender, consider this is the sender. If there is another receiver, okay, so in that case, so this address should be set to 1 because it is going to the different distributed system. The system belongs to the other BSS. So in that case, the node should be set to 1 here. Okay, and the frame is going from station to an AP. Okay, the station to an AP. So this is an AP. Always these nodes cannot directly connect, no. So in Wi-Fi, so this is AP and these are the devices connected to this AP. Okay, it is wireless. You can just write some dotted line indicates you have not used. This is the one BSS. So now the case 4, let me go to the case 4, and you need to see, observe very carefully. So the second case is the data is going from distributed system. That means now you need to specify the sending AP address. It is going, the data is moving from the distributed system, means you need to specify the what is the sending AP address. Okay. The third case is the data is going to a particular distributed system. So which is the distributed system address you need to specify, that is receiving AP, to which receiving AP you are sending. So that address need to be specified. Remaining all, it is a source address and the destination address. The fourth case is, okay, the fourth case is, so it is going, the distribution, the data is going to distribution system from another distribution system. That means now there are two APs are involved. Consider this is another AP, okay, and maybe the destination belongs to this particular BSS. So in that case, the data is moving from this AP to this AP, AP to AP communication. So that is indicated in case 4. You can just observe, you can see, no, receiving AP address you need to specify, sending AP address is to be specified, and also the source node. So now the node belongs to this AP as source, and another node, receiver node, belongs to this AP, should be specified as a destination. Okay, so this is how the addressing mechanism takes place in 802.11. Okay, are you getting, or you people are getting, this is with respect to wireless LAN. If it is wireless communication, how exactly the addressing mechanism takes place. In case if you have missed yesterday's class, you may not able to understand this, because you should have the knowledge of the what is the architecture used in wireless LAN. Okay, you just go back and check it, the previous class content, and this is how the addressing mechanism takes place. So I think I have a corresponding diagram. The first case, let me just go to the diagram. Okay, the first case, so where I told the addresses are, here there is no distribution system involved. Case 1 is 002 address, sorry, 2 DS, and from DS should be specified 00. That means the communication, it is going to be within the BS. Okay, within the BS. So correspondingly it has to specify the node address. Okay, which is a node? Node B. The source node is B and the destination is A. Okay, if this is the way communication, then this becomes the source and this is the destination. And also what is the BSS for this? You can see the dotted line, no? This is the BSS. So what is the BSS ID assigned? That should be added here in the location 3. Okay, this is for case 1. Case 2, so case 2 involves, there is a communication. Okay, the data is coming from AP. Okay, so what is the value of given? That is 0, 1. So 0, 1 means that is, this is 2 DS, 2 DS, just go back, 0 and 1. Okay, so this is 2 DS and from DS. Okay, you can just observe. So in this case the data is coming from AP. So from DS should be set to 1. and the corresponding address should be added. The AP address should be added here. Okay, and also what is the source address? Maybe the data is received from the another BSS. Okay, so that address already it will be there here, and also the destination address, it is B. You just observe very simple case like how the communication, how the address mechanism is used in BSS and ESS. Okay, so this is the case where the data is getting from distributed system. Another one, the data is going to another distribution system. You can just see, so the data is sending to the distribution system AP. Okay, arrow mark indicates the data is moving to the distribution system. In this case, the value is, it is 1 0 to distribute system. Okay, so the two address AP you need to add it to here, and what is the source address here, and the destination address is B. So all this information should be added and it is going to send. So this is the third case. The fourth case, you can just see the communication between the APs, communication between the distributed system. So where you need to specify two DS is 1 and okay, from DS is 1. So that is the communication between the distributed system. Here it is nothing but the communication between the APs. So in that case, so you need to specify the address of the AP, first AP and the second AP, followed by the source and destination addresses. Okay, so this is how the addressing mechanism is used in 802.11. So now whenever this communication is taking place, so there are, I told in the beginning of the class itself, there are a lot of challenges with respect to wireless communication, either in terms of errors, interference, okay, attenuation. We have discussed now all these things, characteristics yesterday. So with respect to that, we are facing some of the problems. Okay, there are mainly two problems. One is called hidden station problem. Okay, this occurs only in wireless LAN, wireless network. So what exactly it tells? Okay, so what is the meaning of hidden station here? So just observe this diagram. So here whatever the thick lines, the black or oval shape you can see, no, that indicates the range. Okay, which are the nodes that comes under this range, they can communicate each other. So example, B and A are within this oval range, that is range of B. So these two nodes can exchange the data. B cannot communicate to C because it is not, C is not in range of B. Okay. Similarly, you can just look into this oval. So C's range, so it can communicate to A but not with B. Okay. So this is a one scenario I have taken. So in this scenario, what exactly the hidden station problem tells. Okay, so let's start with how exactly it indicates the hidden station problem. So you can just assume that station B is sending data. Okay, listen carefully. So this is the common concept whenever if you learn the wireless network concept. So you should be knowing this problem, and also there is a solution for this. So assume that the station B is sending data to station A. Okay, so that means it is possible. Will you agree? Because it is within the range of B, so A can send data to B. So here in the middle of this transmission, okay, consider now A and B started communicating. Okay, both started sending data, or B started sending data to A. So during this transmission time, what happens? Station C also has data to send A. Okay, C want to send data to A. However, station C is out of range of B because it is out. B is not reachable to C. So C don't know that B is already busy in sending the data to A. Okay. So the C station finds that the media is free. Okay. So it's the C does not know that A is receiving data from B. So it finds, when it checks the channel, it finds that the media is free and station. Okay. So station C sends data to A. It starts sending data to A. So which results in collision. So now A is receiving data. Okay. So A is receiving data both from B and C. It may leads to collision of data at node C. Okay, so that is the problem we call it as, that is station B and C are hidden. Station B and are hidden from each other with respect to A. So because of that, there is a problem called hidden station problem. Are you getting? So what is hidden station problem? So whenever if two nodes are exchanging data within this range and the same node is belongs to another range, and this particular node C, it does not know that there is a transmission is going on and it is also sending the data, it starts sending the data. So at node A there is a collision of data takes place because this node is also sending, this is also sending, it leads to collision. Okay, this is like this was a problem find out in the like very in the beginning of the innovation of wireless networks, but we have already have lot of solution for these problems. So among those we have one solution called handshake. Okay, CTS frame in CSMA. Okay, let me just, you just recall CSMA CF, we have used this CTS and RTS to solve this problem. Okay, so let me explain what is the solution for hidden station problem. Okay, so you can just take the same scenario. There is a node A and B and C. Now we can go for handshaking method to prevent the hidden station problem. So now this node B want, in case if it want to send the data, it is not going to start immediately. Instead of that, so it is going to send RTS. RTS, that is request to send. It is telling that B is telling that to A, I want to send the data. Okay. In case if node or station A is ready to receive the data, then it has to acknowledge for that request. Okay. So how it is acknowledging? By sending the message called CTS, and this CTS is going to be sent not only to the device that is made a request, it is going to send to all other nodes, because it should inform other nodes that this node is busy in receiving data from B. Okay. So to inform that, it is broadcasting CTS, clear to send, to all the nodes. So what exactly this CTS message contains? So this CTS message contains the time information about how long there will be a transmission of data takes place between B and A. Okay. Till that, the other node should not try to send any data to A. That is the reason it is going to broadcast CTS to all the nodes that are connected in the network, or it comes in the range. Now have once receiving this CTS from A to B, so B can start sending the data. It can start sending the data, and this CTS is also received at node C. It now C comes to know that, so it should not try to send any data. Okay, whatever the time duration it is specified in the CTS, and it will be just keep on waiting. After this time duration, then it can check, sense the media. If it finds it is free, then it can send the data. Okay, so by using this handshake mechanism, it is possible to uh, overcome with the problem of hidden station problem. Okay, so this problem can be solved using handshake mechanism. There is one more problem called exposed station problem. Okay, it is just extended version of the hidden station. So just look into the diagram. Can you see here this dotted line, blue color shade oval indicates the range of B. Okay, within this range, which are the nodes are there? B is there and A is there. So these two nodes can communicate. Then we have another set of node that is with a range of C. For this node, it can reach A and also D. Okay. So now we have one more oval. See what exactly this oval indicates? It is indicating the range. Okay, if you take example of your Bluetooth, if you have switched on the Bluetooth and if you want to connect to the different device, okay, maybe two phones if you want to connect using mobile, what we can call Bluetooth. So it is having some limitation with respect to range. Okay, it can connect up to 10 meters. It is nothing but almost it is 30 feet distance. The devices which are comes under this 110 meters, okay, 10 meters, so it can connect it. If it is going behind this range, it is not possible. So that range, it is represented with this oval shape, that's all. Okay. So you should remember, it is having limitation, either Bluetooth or your hotspot, everything it is having limitation with respect to the distance, how long it can cover the device. And also it is not only just exactly, we cannot tell that 10 meters or 30 feet. So sometimes even it depends, in case if there is any wall, okay, or building or any obstacles in between, so in that case it may be less than 10 meters also. Okay, maybe you people already used all these devices, you will be aware of these things. So here oval indicates to what range it can communicate with the other device. Okay, so range of A, you can see this is another, if I take node A, it can communicate, okay, if I take this node A, so within this range of node A, it can communicate with B and also with C. Okay, so this is with respect to the nodes and the scenario. Now, what is the problem here actually? So we'll take the consideration of that B want to send data to A. Yes, it is possible. So B and A can communicate each other because those two nodes are within the range. Okay, there is no issue. We have already discussed in hidden station problem, okay, where there is a exchange of RTS and CTS messages to avoid that hidden station problem. Okay. So now whenever if it is sending in that way, what happens? So it is sending RTS message to your, okay, A is, if it is ready to accept, it is going to send CTS. CTS is also be received to node or station C, and it is also sent to node B or station B. Okay, so now thinking that, consider C want to, this is node C want to send data not to A. Okay, if that is the case, it should avoid transmission. But here I am taking the case of C want to send data to D. C want to send data to D. But here after receiving CTS message from A, so C is going to refrain its transmission, even though it want to send data to other node that is not for the station A, where the station is already busy with the receiving of data from B. Okay, if it is sending to A, there is a collision. So to avoid that, it has to keep quiet till as long as the node B is sending data to A. It should not start sending any data. It should not even sense the media also. It should be in idle state. But here the case is, I am taking C want to send data to D. Okay, but it is not going to happen because it is received the CTS message, because even node A is within the range, D is also within the range. So once it receives the CTS message, okay, it is not going to do any transmission. Okay, the transmission between C and A, if it is, then it may lead to collision, but here transmission is required for C and D. If that is the case, okay, it is just wasting its time and the bandwidth may be not utilized. So that is a problem occurs in the exposed station problem. Okay, are you people are getting what I am explaining? Yes, can somebody respond? Abhishek? Did you understood what I am explaining? I want the response. Pujita. Am I audible, no? Yes, am I audible? Can somebody respond? Bhuvan, Bhumika?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, so this problem we call it as exposed station problem. Okay, so these are the common terms you will be hearing when you start learning about wireless network. So you should be knowing this problem. Okay, so this is called as exposed station problem. Okay, so here we don't have any solution. It is given in the textbook. So as long as A transmit data, so C should be in waiting state only. Okay, but even though it want to send data not to A to D, but still because of this handshake mechanism, so it is refrain its transmission and it will be keep on waiting. Okay, so this problem we call it as exposed station problem. So many times they have asked what is hidden station problem. You need to explain with a need diagram what is hidden station problem and what is the solution for that using handshake. Okay, and you need to explain what is the exposed station problem. Okay, you can just observe the diagram. The same thing, it is represented in the form of a sequence diagram. Okay. Okay, RTS. So RTS is sent to A. You think this is different scenario, so let it be this one. So you can just draw this diagram by yourself according to this scenario. You can just draw the sequence diagram, or you can take this consideration where A want to send data to B and C. So considering that, you can just draw this diagram. So that's all about 802.11. So quickly I will just move on to the one example of wireless LAN. Okay, so I am just taking example of Bluetooth, and we'll discuss how this Bluetooth works and what is the architecture used, what are the different layers that is present in a Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is a wireless LAN technology designed to connect devices of different functions such as telephone, notebooks, computers, camera, printers, coffee makers. See, nowadays so many devices we can find, those are all connected using Bluetooth. Okay, you can just explore yourself how that Bluetooth works. Just spend time. Okay, just using it's not enough, because you people are going to be a software engineers, so you should know the working procedure, how it works. You should have a curiosity. Okay, just using devices, you become a user. Okay, you are not going to be a developer. So if you want to know how it works, just explore yourself. You will get lot of details, and just go through that document and understand how it works. Okay, whatever I am explaining here, it is the basic concepts. So now current technology is improved lot of things. So there are so much of enhancement is done, and you can give your own idea. Okay, with respect to whatever the concept we have used. Take example of Bluetooth and just check it where you can apply this. Okay, where you can connect two devices to solve some problem. Okay, so those are all just an idea, no need to implement, just to find out the ideas. Okay, so nobody can just implement it as soon as, like if they have find some solution. First finding the problem is very very important. Even if you want to do any project, first check what is the problem. Okay, then find out what is the solution. But most of the time it is going in reverse way. Okay, you will be keeping solution and you will be telling what is the problem. No, that should not happen. So try to explore everyone. Okay, so just learning subject, it's not enough. So you should be always thinking, finding some solution to the problems that are existing in real time. Okay, so Bluetooth LAN is ad hoc network. Yesterday I was explaining ad hoc network. What is meaning ad hoc network? Where there is no infrastructure involved. So if I want to connect my device, or mouse is connected to the laptop, wireless mouse. Okay, it does not require any AP to connect that. Okay, so it does not require any access point or any infrastructure to connect the two devices. So such example you can just take it for this Bluetooth LAN connection. Okay. Okay, you can just go through, or you can list it what are the Bluetooth technology, where and all they are using. Examples, the peripheral devices, many of we are using wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, so that can communicate with the computer, monitoring devices, with the sensor devices. Okay, even home security devices, these are all connected with the Bluetooth. So you can just list all the devices that are connected using Bluetooth. So then what is the standard given for this Bluetooth IEEE standard? So it is 802.15. Okay, this is the IEEE standard given for the Bluetooth. So in the exam they may ask explain IEEE 802.11 with need diagram or explain the architecture. Okay, you should be able to understand that this is with respect to Bluetooth. Okay, I think I need to explain this diagram. So what is this diagram tells? Here there are two types of architectures are used. Okay, architecture. One is called Piconet. Piconet. See, this subject is very interesting. So you should be able to explore more things. Okay, just the textbook content is not enough. So the second one is a ScatterNet. Okay, so these are the two architectures used in Bluetooth technology. What is the meaning of Bluetooth? Piconet architecture here. You can just observe. So this is the primary station. See, always this outer border indicates that is the range through which within that range, whatever the nodes it comes or the stations it comes, it can communicate. If any device out of this range, it cannot communicate. Okay, it cannot identify or it cannot show that device is there within the range or not. Maybe you all connected or shared your files, images, photos using Bluetooth, you will be having the idea of this. So here Piconet is also called small net. Okay, this is also called a small net. Net indicates network. So Piconet have up to 8 stations. Okay, there are some limitations here. This network can have up to 8 stations. Okay, it can have 8 stations, one of which is called primary and remaining all we call it as secondary stations. So all the secondary stations are synchronize their clock and hopping sequence with the primary. Okay, so their clock and hopping frequency, it should be synchronized. The secondary station should be synchronized with the primary station. That means the communication it is going between this primary and secondary, not even between the secondary node. You can just see the direction, okay, the direction through which that communication takes place. If this secondary node want to send data to some other node, first the data should be sent to primary and from primary to the other node. So the communication between primary and secondary can be 1 to 1. Okay, so that means primary can send data to 1 to 1. Okay, or it can be 1 to many. So 1 means here primary, it can send to multiple secondary station. So this is one type of network, and here it can have total I told 8 station. Among that, one is primary and remaining all are secondary nodes. So one is primary and the remaining 7 nodes should be the secondary nodes. So this is one type of network. So there is another type of network called ScatterNet. Okay, so you can just look into the diagram. So what is the difference you can find? Here where there is a communication between the piconets. So you can just see this is one piconet and this is another piconet. The node that belongs to the range of both the piconets, that can act as a primary and a secondary node. So that is the piconet can be combined to form the ScatterNet. Piconet can be combined, that is more than one piconet can be combined to form the ScatterNet. Secondary station, okay, the secondary station of one piconet can be acting as a, so this is actually secondary station, okay, to this piconet, and this can act as a primary station to this piconet. Okay, so this is how the ScatterNet is designed. So here the station can receive messages from the primary in the first piconet and it can send the data to the secondary node in the another piconet. Okay, and this is one example of how the piconet is, ScatterNet is designed with the help of combining multiple piconets. So what is the data rate in Bluetooth? Okay, some of the characteristics you should know with respect to Bluetooth. Okay, So I think everybody used, I don't know how many of you are aware of all these technical things. So Bluetooth, the data rate, at what speed it can share the data or send the data, it is 1 Mbps, very slow. Okay, and what is the bandwidth used? Okay, so what is the bandwidth used? Let me just complete this. So what is the bandwidth used is 2.4 gigahertz. 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, so these are the some important thing, and the range of the devices, it should be normally 10 meters, or we can, in terms of it is feet, it is 30 feet. This also sometimes what happens, depending on the obstacles. See, wireless networks, even if you get any obstacle like yeah, big buildings or the wall in front of that, so it is not possible to communicate. Okay, if there is any obstacles, the signal strength may go low whenever if it is reflecting on that particular obstacle, and it leads to weakened signal. All those things we have discussed in yesterday's class beginning with respect to the characteristics of LAN, wireless LAN. Okay, so there is one concept, one band mechanism called ISM band. So you just go through this ISM band. So there is a frequency assigned for each of the technology. Okay, what is the frequency assigned? You just go through this ISM band. Just Google it. You will get ISM band. So in that you can just check it. 2.4 gigahertz it is given for the Bluetooth technology, and that is free of cost actually. For other frequencies you have to pay. Okay. So Bluetooth layers. So you can just observe class.